Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for movies.
Discussing all youts, it was a major year. It was a major year for motion pictures. Enduring R. Kelly, leaving Neverland, Two Post, Shut Up, Shut Up, I Don't Mind, Fair Warning Season 2, is on the way so in the end. He clearly didn't off himself, very much like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up, I know he's your companion. Yet I Don't Mind, quite a long time ago in Hollywood, almost 3 hours in length, Leonardo DiCaprio went to the premiere. And toward the end his date was excessively old for him, so Ricky Gervais is an entertainer and comic known for having big brass balls. He will in a real sense get out whatever is at the forefront of his thoughts, without caring whether individuals will like him for it. He will make jokes that no other comic will. Yes, he has gotten a ton of reaction for that, yet he has gotten more commendation for making statements that no other person would. This was the situation at the 77th Yearly Brilliant Globe Grants. Held in 2020, he made jokes for 8 straight minutes. So I don't mind any longer. I'm kidding, I never did. And surprisingly, however, the room was loaded up with off-kilter chuckling. All through the entire time, fans appeared to partake in all of it. I mean, the comments were perfect, with numerous good remarks anyway. By doing this, he could have quite recently forfeited his profession. Very much was it worth the effort. And even better, has he expressed anything about why he forfeited his vocation to uncover Hollywood? We should find out, will we? Throughout the entire existence of the Brilliant Globes Grants, there has never been a questionable opening discourse like the one done by Ricky Jess in the 77th Yearly Brilliant Globes Grants. In 2020, he, in a real sense, went after Sovereign Andrew Jeffrey Epstein and woke Hollywood overall. Subsequent to conveying the most questionable discourse in history, Ricky Gervais later uncovered the thought processes behind the television. Second, recollect that they're simply jokes all of us will pass on soon. And there's no seal, so despite the fact that there were around 200 individuals in participation, the show was seen by in excess of 200 million individuals. Overall, Ricky Gervais was conversing with the series-connected digital broadcast when he said, "Do I pander to the 200 self-images in the room, or the 200 million people watching all over the planet? And there's no challenge. I understand what I will say. I'm not there to destroy their night. I'm there to make individuals at home." Fiegel, the entertainer who was facilitating the honors service for the 5th time, guaranteed that the service was only an ideal chance for him to involve his best jokes before a unique crowd. He later discussed how he needed to compose 7 minutes of his best jokes, which he will presumably never use from now on. He said it's a ton of labor for 7 minutes, yet the result is astonishing. I mean, there's no crowd like that anyway. Even after all that, he never gave any indications of regret or lament for what he said. He hit back at analysis, even doubted him due to the discourse. And to every one of the individuals who censured him, he said he was playing a reckless person in his job. As host, the entertainer additionally contrasted himself and David, Brent, and Tony, who are characters alluding to his fault finders. He referenced that they were uninformed that his stand-up persona and his personality at the Brilliant Globes were part of the way a demonstration. He depicted a striking person, their purpose on disturbing the night for the liberal elites. He stressed that he had fastidiously created those jokes to be awesome. Yet what precisely did he say during the honor service? The 77th Yearly Brilliant Globes Grants were held in January 2020. And the crowd, both in the scene and at home, was in for an unexpected. The second Ricky made that big appearance, he began his assault on woke Hollywood. Yet there is more. He additionally kidded about Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and Sovereign Andrew. He likewise addressed points, for example, me as well, and ISIS. The second he began talking, the top-notch crowd was flinching. Yet it gets better. Stars like Tom Hanks, Robert De Niro, and Gwyneth Paltrow were undeniably left with staggered looks on their countenances when Jess taunted Felicity Huffman over the school confirmation. Outrage marked James Corden an enormous and tore Judi Dench for licking her own genitals in the discourse. He referenced a ton of awkward subjects and things, all of which got anxious chuckling from the group anyway. There were likewise snapshots of gruffness. One such second was when Ricky Gervais encouraged those getting the honors to try not to deliver political addresses. He let them know they were in no situation to the general population about anything prior to adding in the event that you win come up acknowledge your little honor, thank your representative and your God. And off the English comic, having recently expressed that this would be his last time facilitating the honors, critiques the participants, he remarked that despite the fact that they case to be socially cognizant the acts of the organizations they partner with in China, for example, Apple, Amazon, and Disney were surprising. He further hinted that if ISIS somehow managed to send off a real-time feature, they presumably contact their representatives following the honor show was over individuals via virtual entertainment, began showering their commendations to Jess for bringing down the Hollywood Foundation. Unafraid, moreover, many individuals cherished the awkward response that were coming from those in the room anyway. A few found Jay's jokes a bit difficult to stomach. Worse, Morgan saluted the comic on his best 8 minutes anyway. As per a survey of the night in the Chicago Sun-Times, Jas was so aim on complimenting himself for being tense that he neglected to be entertaining. There were a couple of stunning minutes in the speech. For example, when Jas commented about the demise of pedophile tycoon Jeffrey Epstein, he remarked that Eternity is a show about a man who needs to commit suicide. Heads up, season 2 is coming, so he didn't off himself. Very much like Jeffrey Epstein. A colossal wheeze from the whole crowd met this comment anyway. He multiplied down on the comments expressing shut up. I know he's your companion, yet I could do without the people who are feeling a cycle. Confounded Epstein was tracked down dead in his phone at the Metropolitan Remedial Center, New York, in August of 2019. At the time, he was anticipating preliminary for various offenses. When an examination was done, it was found that he had hanged himself. Jas likewise made one more shot at Felicity Huffman, who was imprisoned for her job in the school affirmation embarrassment. That year, Huffman had recently finished a 11-day stretch in prison. In the wake of conceding to paying $155,000 to get one of her girls into school, I simply needed to help children and families. I lost my moral worth and have such an excess of disappointment. That is what he said. Jas referenced that they had come there in their limos and added that he had arrived in a limo whose tag was made by Felicity Huffman. He further commented that he felt frustrated about her girl, proposing what is happening was significantly more humiliating than her dad being in wild hordes, numerous in the crowd, answered with shocked chuckling. And Tom Hanks seemed to take an abdominal muscle. Back the remark was to some degree saucy, yet hilarious. Jess, who has likewise never facilitated in the #me, to time before made an effort there. He remarked that there were a wide assortment of stars in the room, and they all shared one thing. Practically speaking, they're all scared of Ronan Farrow. New Yorker essayist Farrow was one of the central participants in exposing sexual wrongdoing in Hollywood. And uncovering shamed maker Har Weinstein. New Yorker dropped a sensation story Sunday evening of a subsequent lady blaming Judge Brett Kavanaugh for LW conduct exactly a long time back. Later in the show, Daras presented a class for the film Bird Box. He portrayed it as a film where individuals get by behaving as they don't see a thing similar to working for Harvey Weinstein anyway. Just wouldn't stop his joke there. He additionally taunted what he alluded to as pedophile films. He expressed discussing All You Distorts It was a major year for pedophile films. Enduring R. Kelly leaving Neverland, the two popes just a little to snicker at his own joke as the group panted and let out apprehensive giggling anyway. He followed this up by reminding them he doesn't mind. After all, he opened his discourse by letting them know he doesn't mind since it will be his last time facilitating the honors. Jess was investigating every possibility, going after, however, many individuals as he could. He even went after Foundation grant champ Leonardo DiCaprio and made some fun of the age-hole among him and the ladies he dates quite a long time ago in Hollywood, almost 3 hours in length. Leonardo DiCaprio went to the debut, and toward the end his date was excessively old for him, so when he was saying this, cameras quickly moved to Leo to get his demeanor. And it appeared to be that the entertainer who was dating 22-year-old Camila Morrone had the option to ridicule himself. He was discovered becoming flushed and grinning, while the remainder of the room giggled through the giggling from the whole crowd. Jas added, even Sovereign Andrew resembles come on Leo Maid, your almost 50 child Ricky Jas, truly addressed a ton parcel of subjects in his discourse anyway. He couldn't have cared less about it, or how they responded, very much like he said in the first place. He didn't mind, despite the fact that the vast majority